you Warhammer players, and welcome to the definitive podcast for the Warhammer 40k enthusiasts in the Inland Northwest. Your hosts are Jeremy, all day 40k Nakano, and Joey, Beddingfield, Painting Beddingfield. How you doing, Joey?
Doing well.
You can find me on TikTok, him on Instagram, but with us today, I have a very important guest. He is the Gene Stealer Appealer, the Nexos Hephaestus, the one with the flowing locks, Big Floof Cox in the building. How we doing, Floof?
That was fucking beautiful. I'm allowed to cuss, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That was amazing. I didn't expect that. That was perfect. Thank you for having me.
Should have read the doc.
Be here. Oh,
we are so happy that you're here for more quality commentary. Today, we are going to be going over a couple of GTs, or at least a GT, a major, as well as a complete retrospective of 10th edition to date. But before that, we have to offer thanks to our partner, Baron of Dice. Let him know, Baron.
Ha! Bad roll. That's okay. Because I'm having more fun than you ever do. Even when I roll ones. How do I get you to shut up? Go to Baron of Dice and then buy some dice so that your army is displayed. Then let me take your sister out. What?
Okay. All right, guys. So, hobby stuff. Has anyone been painting anything cool lately?
Yes, I am furiously painting AdMech.
Did you go get some more of it, or did you find a list within
I
your pile
have,
that you
yeah,
got?
everything for the list that I want to run.
Good.
So I'm just trying to get it battle ready. We are working it.
How far
Hell
out
yeah,
is
buddy.
the event you're trying to get into?
Slaneshmas, so the first week of December.
Okay, so you have a month.
I have honestly, a pretty decent amount of time. Like, I will definitely be battle ready. My plan is to go battle ready and then use the extra time to go back and start cleaning things
Right.
up.
If you're not busy the first week of December, Slaneshmas is a Shark Tank of an event, and you should come to it.
You keep offering, like, inviting me to events. Like, I live 2 states away from you. Like, I appreciate y'all, but I can't do that all the time, all right?
You know, that's totally fair. It is completely reasonable. But what have you been painting lately, Floof?
Well, so 2 things. Because one, actually, I wanted to bring this up because this is also one of the things when Joey was talking about how he got into the AdMech. We have the same story because a friend was trying to get rid of their AdMech and I just was able to get it off them at the time. So I got like 7,000 points of AdMech for way too fucking cheap. And so now I'm like, well, I do love the faction, but also I can't get rid of this ever because. So
Yep.
I also have a thing to where on the side I'm going to be painting AdMech all the time. But that's entirely unrelated. So, okay, I am a serial army trader, okay, to where, like, I'll play an army, go, man, it's not GSE, and I'll trade it in, and I'll buy a new army, and the cycle continues. I've done it just about every time. This time, I got Sisters for the 3rd time by trading
Nice.
away all of my Emperor's Children. I traded, like, 3K of EC for 6K of Sisters. Don't know how I did that, but we take those. Then
Yeah.
I go, wait, Tyranids was my first love army, or was my first army. Let me get back into this because Sisters were boring. This was like a week before I mean, they're still boring, man. I just don't respect Sisters as an army right now. It's just, I don't know how people lose. I'm getting off track. I get Tyranids. I have Cali Cup in 2 weeks, and there's a
Nice.
list that I've written that is 80 Hormagaunts, 100 Termagaunts, 44 Neurogaunts, Neurotyrant, Swarmlord, Trevor Mom, Deathleaper, 2 Neurolictors, and some other stuff. And we may be trying to get it done in 2 weeks.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
contrast paints.
Mm-hmm. And then how much of that is painted currently?
I'll show you.
But that's not good news.
Oh.
If you can show us right now, that's not good.
We got this model.
We have one model.
We got half of a Swarmlord. Is he gonna get no, the blur, but yeah, not even like fully done.
Nice.
Because I was doing the carapace one night and it's like 3 a.m. and it's a very dimly lit room, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting the texture just right. It's perfect. I'm blending the hell out of this. And I wake up and I go, wow, that's dog shit. That's possibly the worst paint job I've ever done in my life. I need to restart all of this. So yeah, the skin and all that's fine, but I need to figure out what I'm doing with the chitin, chitin, however you say it.
It's
I like
chitin.
saying it wrong. Then it's chitin for me because it's just it's fun to say. But anyways, yeah. So it's Tyranids. It's just so much Tyranids. There's
Yeah,
so many
it is
bugs.
an army that I envy no one for having to paint. They are cool, but I already have one army that is like pretty much just one texture
Mhm.
across to paint, so I don't think I could ever pick that army up.
If I can, it was Tyranids that like got me into swarm armies because
Yeah,
I'll send you a picture to put up
hell
here
yeah.
if you want. My first RTT was actually when I met one of my still nowadays best friends who's killing it on Tau, Tice D'Amigo. And he was playing Knights at the time. This is a week before Knights counted as multiple models. They still counted as one for holding a point. And he had 8 models and I had 310. It was 8th edition. I had one Hive Tyrant, one Neurothrope, and then just Gene Stealers, Hormagaunts, Termagants,
Ready?
and we tied. It was my first ever RTT, and we drew. And there was twice in that game to where a knight would swing into a group of Hormagaunts, and one would live to deny him primary.
That is
And
so
he's just
cool.
holding the line. So
Phenomenal.
I'm very excited to get back to that.
Well, I can't wait to see what it all turns out like. You should keep us updated on that.
Yeah.
I am painting a Land Raider. This is as far as I've gotten. It's white with
That's
primer.
most of a Land Raider.
You
Yep.
held up a ball of light, and I'm
Yeah,
so
there's a
happy for
light
you.
directly in front of my face. Anyway, the Land Raider, I'm giving myself a break for the league, my every 2 weeks painting league, so that I can catch up on the headhunters here, which were battle ready, and I was very sad about leaving them at battle ready. So I'm just gonna get my Land Raider painted pretty quickly, and then those in this 2-week span where I have to go to Omaha for like 2 weeks for like 5.
Dude, there's so many details on Space Wolves. I had to do like a commission. There's just so much, and it's like good stuff,
Yeah.
but it's like right at that line of like over designed a little bit, but like all in the good spots, if that makes sense. But God,
Yeah,
there's just
yeah.
so much stuff.
There's nothing wasted, and I avoided putting too much stuff on it because of the sheer amount of fur that you have to paint. And I'm figuring out how to do it right. It's mostly just dry brushing. But yeah, I really enjoy it, the Space Wolves so far, because I've painted nothing but faces, and I'm just trying to get better at that.
That's a good way to do it.
Moving forward, I'm going to do faces and all the special faction Marines, and then any general stuff, like every intercessor I paint moving forward will be helmet.
There was
Okay.
an interesting painting like drill, I guess you could say, like I don't know, a thing to like practice faces, which my friend just had recommended this, and I tried it one time, and it was sadistic. So if you hate yourself, by all means, if you have a sprue and you've built all of your guys with all the helmets, you should have a section on that sprue that is just all of the heads lined up. So go ahead and trim out that little box, prime it, and then just paint all the faces. Just
paint
go
5
for it.
faces. Yeah.
Just paint 5 faces. Just go for it. For like guardsmen or neophytes, you'll get like 20 heads. You'll hate yourself, but you'll get real good real fast. And then you won't have to worry about like, oh, these are all my intercessors with terrible faces. Because,
Yeah. No, I love painting faces. I've gotten pretty good at it. So
yeah.
And I
I'm
mean,
pretty
that's cool
happy
because
with
then
it.
it comes with its own little painting handle. You can just kind of
Yeah.
do whatever
cute.
you need to do.
All right. Well, that's it for hobby. So let's jump into tournaments. So I'll go quick. I went to the Atomic City Warzone in Tri-Cities, Washington. A small tournament, only about 42 of us, I think, showed up altogether, 40-ish. But I achieved something I have not done yet, which I went 3-0 at the first day at a GT.
Nice.
I've gone 2-1, 1-2, like often and a lot. But this time I went 3-0. And then I ended up going 4-1 overall. I lost the 4-up race against Custodes, playing my Wrath of the Rock completely, basically Custodes list. And it was really, really fun. I had to play 2 of my teammates, and overall, my team did really good.
Yeah.
In the top 6, 4 of us were there. And I think
Nice.
6 of us went down. So, like, it was dope. Had a really good time. Got to hang out with Jaden, who has been on the show before. Kenny Bush came out. He won the tournament. Congratulations, Kenny, who's one of the best guard players in the West Coast. And yeah, great job. Oh, a big shout out to Wyatt. Great job, Wyatt. He had the hardest half.
No.
He did.
That's enough. No, that's it. You mentioned his name, and now we're done talking about
We're gonna
him
give him a
because he's
real
gonna get
shout,
all
Joe.
weird about it.
The young boy gets a shout. He loves this
Shout out
show.
Wyatt. You know what?
So,
My favorite
Wyatt,
person's
congratulations on going 4-1. He came in second place
He did.
for having the hardest win path of all, facing nothing but opponents who had very few losses, if more than 1 or 2. So he did great. So good job, Wyatt. Well done.
Yes. Joking aside, Wyatt did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, really, really killer work. And that goes for all of the team that went there. Good job, everyone. Floof, tell us about your tournament.
Yeah, so I was at the Mad Alpacalypse 40K major, and it was basically the LGS's first time ever throwing a major. They did it at a nearby fairgrounds. 93 people signed up, 6 rounds, so there ended up being 2 undefeateds. I ended up coming in third because I lost to the first place winner in round 4. And so, okay, not what's the least asshole way to say this? Top table was round 1, and I mean this with respect to everyone, but everyone there kind of knew it because they kept coming up to our table. Because round 1, Forrest and I pair. Yeah, just casually. And they even had a stream going on. And we're like, do you guys want this on the stream? And they're like, we kind of got randomly picked. And we're like, all right, we'll let like other people who haven't been on before, like have it, sure. But also at the same time, most insane game. Listen, I could talk about the event. The event was great. Patrick's fantastic. Congrats to him. Congrats to Edwin. Sure, whatever. Get out of the way. Okay. This game was absolutely sick. Genuinely just 2 people giving haymaker after haymaker, going for sick plays, and it just working out. And if you haven't met Forrest, for anyone who hasn't met Forrest, he's possibly one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. He just happens to be smiling while committing absolute war crimes. If you'll notice, at any event, he will have 1 loss, if any, and then everything else is hundreds because he just tables you. There's never a time you finish a game and go to Forrest's game and it's still going. He's there, they're all packed up, and they're chatting. It's ridiculous. But so I could say all the main things, but to keep it kind of short, there is a moment, okay, to where I have charged neophytes onto a point that have 5 Wolfen on it, or 5 Thunderwolf Cav, and some intercessors, right? I need to take this point to stop him from getting primary. I get in, he heroics the Thunderwolf Cav because I had charged the intercessors. He heroics them in, and then I charged the Thunderwolf with the Death Leaper. All the Thunderwolf Cav just go to the neophytes. They don't care about the Death Leaper. They're just going to go kill him, right? So now is going into Forrest's turn. This is a 3-point game, by the way. This ends up being a 3-point game. He pulls Storm Hostile Objective. He's going to have these 5 Thunderwolf go deal with another point. They have just enough attacks to deal with it. However, both the Intercessors and the Thunderwolf Cav are below starting strength. Death Leaper says, please take a battle shock at -1. Intercessors roll, they roll a 6. The Thunderwolf Cav roll, they roll a 6. They both fail. He then goes to fall back the Thunderwolf Cav, and he rolls 3 ones. The Death Leaper stops 5 points of primary, kills 3 Thunderwolf Cav, and then he keeps going, and he didn't realize it until the end of this turn. He goes to kill off the Death Leaper, and he plays Careful Everywhere Else, and he goes, okay, I got Storm. And I go, no, you didn't, unfortunately. And he goes, what do you mean? You controlled that point. I go, at the start of the turn, Forrest, you controlled the point. Storm is to take back a point that you controlled at the start. And he goes, so, and like, it dawns on me, he goes, I controlled it, I failed, didn't score it, and now it's back to me. It only mattered for that 1 point. I go, yes, that's the only time it mattered. And he goes, damn, dude, that's sick.
In
that's
the history of 10th edition. In the history of 10th edition, that's the only time that timing has mattered.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Of the phase, I was like, it only mattered that I held it for that point. But like, dude, so that was like a 5-8 point swing. Not to mention now that Thunderwolf Cav unit is just neutered. It can't do anything for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
just because the Death Leaper was hanging out. And it's on a 3-point game. Oh my god, there was obviously like a bunch of other breakpoints where things went one way or another, but oh my god, it was sick. And
it sounds like a great game.
Forrest has told me that he is going to be hatefully hunting down every Death Leaper he sees in his games going forward, which I think is totally fair.
Yeah, I have found that unit to be nothing short of one of the worst things to deal with. Was it Vanguard or Final? Look at that.
No, this was in Final Day. This was GSE. Yeah,
Gotcha.
he had no buffs. He was just hanging out. Also, because they wanted to make their first event special, this was the 3rd place trophy. I know it's kind of blurry, but like this is huge. It's massive. It's become a display piece to hold all the other ones on. It's fun.
That's fantastic. Hell yeah, dude.
But
okay.
Yeah. So
Sounds
that
like,
was
well, congratulations on that store having its first event.
Yeah.
Or first major or something.
Yeah, they're also doing the thing to where like they have a trophy to where every time someone wins, they engrave the name on the trophy and they have it at the store.
That's really cool.
And they said this will be the one for 2025. If you'll notice, we've only filled up half the spaces. Keep your eye out for more. So if you're in the NorCal area or just want to come to a cool event that I'll be at, know that this is going to happen again probably soon. They just haven't given dates. So
And a
yeah.
cool thing that I wanted to shout out that happened over at The Real Deal, where Joey's primary shop is. Dale started buying the little kits for the tournaments where they actually give like a metal trophy that you can give out to the first place winner of the event. And
That's sick.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like this little
it's GW.
brass thing. It's really cool.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got to hand that out to Trent, the winner of the last event, which was really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You get like they give you a bunch of stuff, but yeah, you get those, and they'll send you like you get ones for 40K and Sigmar, and they're a little different. But
Mhm.
there's like 30 like plastic 9-inch measuring tools to give to people. Like you get quite a bit of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Hell
just
yeah.
little placard, like little art pieces you can give out, like best, Dark Angels or whatever. It's cool. Anyway, urge your LGS to pick some of those up because people like bringing hardware home. Something cool to compete for. Anyway, let's hop into our main topic, which is the retrospective of 10th edition. This topic was brought to us by Floof because you wanted to come and hang out with us, and we
Yeah.
love hanging out with you, bud. So
Well, thanks, buddies.
the way that we're going to do this, pretty simply, is we're going to work in 6-month chunks. That includes both data slates, or at least one day, like 3 months, one data slate, and then how that data slate goes. And so that we try to stay in line and not go for 4 hours, we're going to keep it down to, we're going to try to share a memory that really stands out for that time period so that, people get some perspective that isn't just the high points, which we'll be hitting. To get us started, let's talk about the Eldari meta, the dark times, starting from June 23 up until about the beginning of the year 24.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love this point. This was a great time.
So during
Yeah,
this meta, there was
It
a
is,
lot
it
of
is
things
also
wrong.
GSE is a
Yes.
problem.
So who were the big scary bits during this time? Well, obviously Eldari were awful. Like data sheets were all too good. That index was
And
What's up?
knights, Imperial Knights as well.
Yeah. Imperial Knights were everywhere and super strong. Custodes were crazy strong because of the invulns plus the ability to deal with knights. And then, of course, Gene Stealer cults were also like really big. I remember Tacoma that year. It was quite literally those 4 factions duking it out while everyone else was just there to play the game.
Yep,
I will
trying to have a
say
good
it-
time, hoping that you didn't get them.
It did kind of feel like that, like when you had a game that wasn't those 4, you had a pretty
was
fun
okay.
time. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
okay. I think also
Most of
Thousand
the
Suns was
indexes were
crazy,
fun.
right? Like it was like surface level was like Knights, Custodes, actually I don't even know Custodes.
They were.
Like Eldar and Knights, and then like second layers like GSC is beating everyone else, and then also just below that is like Thousand Suns, just being like,
Yeah,
they don't realize how busted Magnus is yet.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
they
a
don't-
big
we don't know
sleeper
how
also during
busted-
that time was Grey Knights too, because Grey Knights
Yeah.
could deal with Eldari with the most boring build possible.
Yes.
30 Terminators where you just hid behind walls.
But yeah,
Those were
Thousand
the
Suns were kind of sneaking around at that point because they just didn't follow the rules.
Yeah, I remember before they got their codex, I had Thousand Suns for a little bit because I picked him up for League. People didn't want me to play GSC, and like the first time I ever like double moved Magnus just into my opponent's army and was like, deal with it, and he
Yeah.
lived. I was like, this isn't
Doesn't
okay.
happen. Yeah.
What is going on? Like, I remember just disrespecting an Eldar opponent at one time after they'd like become reasonable, just shoving him into the army, being like, he's had half, you'll kill him, sure. And then it gets to my turn and he's alive on 1, and I'm just, I just win. Like, it doesn't matter. What?
Yeah.
So
Completely
nuts.
insane. What were the core issues wrong with the game during that time, Joey? What were the things that like made these indexes just too good?
Out of those, I mean,
Dev wounds.
Eldar has a plethora of problems, basically everything. They're too cheap. Their army rule is too good. They have way too much access to it. They've got 90,000 data sheets, and 86,000 of those data sheets have devastating wounds.
Yeah, remember 3 units that cost about 100 points that move 27 inches and do an average of 8 dev wounds per round?
Yeah.
I'm blanking right now, real quick. Just what was the old Eldar army rule? Was it the one to where you'd roll dice and then what the number was determined when you could get a 6 that phase, or was that 9th Eldar?
Yeah, that was 9th.
Okay. What was 10th Index
It was
Eldar?
just fate dice.
It was
So it was you would roll like
It was
what
just
was it?
miracle dice, but at the start of the game, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
you rolled I
Yeah,
think at
okay,
that
okay.
time up to 15 dice.
Yes, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, and you could like remove a couple dice to re-roll.
Yeah, you
And
could
someone
lose
would just
one
go until
and
they get, like,
reroll
4 or
all of
6s.
them. Yeah.
Right.
And then the
You're like,
index
"Oh, I
rule
don't like
roll
those,"
was
and then
reroll
re-roll
one hit,
again.
reroll one wound.
Yeah. I guess design team, I think the big thing just as a core problem to the game at that time is the bleeding of dev wounds of the design team just making the addition and having
What if it was Sigmar?
they had the forethought enough to clarify that dev wounds counted as mortal wounds, but not the forethought to then fix the fact that mortal wounds are done one at a time. And so you had Wraith Knights that were doing 8 damage on a shot and killing 4 Marines.
So my most memorable moment during the dark times was not a big tournament. It was the first RTT of the edition where I have a 10 brick of Terminators because I'm super excited about these new sculpts, right? I have this 10 brick on the Terminator in the middle, I think on layout 1, and then they're in behind a ruin. They're ready to go. And then I get hit with I'm playing into Eldari, and I get hit with -2 to move, first and foremost. And I lose 3 to their dev wounds, their indirect dev wounds that hit on 3s, twin linked, 2 damage per shot. And then I
So
advance
good.
them in the middle of the table because I'm like, they're going to get there. I can nail this charge. And I get overwatched by a Wraith Knight. That Wraith Knight did 18 wounds on an Overwatch because of miracle dice of dev wounds, and I had no defenses against them, in which case I lost that unit.
You guys remember Wraithguard shooting you back?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes,
That was
I
great.
do.
I think
What a great time.
my actual favorite time against Eldar was like my LGS at the time had done like a free tournament at the start of 10th of just everyone bring your stuff, let's just get games and start jamming. And I make it to round 3 and I pair it against Eldar. They've got the Wraith Knight. I'm on GSC and I just said, you know what, fuck it. And I just deployed 10 Aberrants on the line. Like, this is when I could infiltrate them just 9 inches away from the Wraith Knight and said, you better not go second. And they went second. And I just beat the hell out of it.
It's incredible.
It was so good.
It's really fun to look back on the edition at that time and realize just how bad I was at the game early on. Because this was like roughly a year into my Warhammer journey at that stage, and I had only just started to feel like I was like kind of knew the game. And Gladius at that time was absurd. Like looking back at the rules, what you could have done if you had the units back then, it was incredible. And I think about it, and I could just kind of feel sad about it, but realize my growth to now, and it's like, wow, what a time.
Desolation Marines were busted at the start of 10th, right?
Yes, Desolation Marines were
I did
busted
run
at the
10.
start.
Yeah, they were in the 10 mans. Yeah, that was
10 with a apothecary. You gave them sustained and critting on 5s with full rerolls to hit and wound because original oath.
See, all of that right now sounds scary, and I'll respect that it does sound scary. But at the same time, I had infinitely reviving battle line that came back on a 1-up, and then Aberrants with a -1 to wound and a 4-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I just didn't care. Nothing killed me. So, man, that sounds scary right now, and I'm glad I don't have to deal with that with not an XGC.
You also had your infinitely reviving dudes coming back with their once per game abilities again.
Yeah, the one shot. It was a new unit. It was new guys.
Yeah.
10 Bill are dead over there. This is Fred and Steve. New guns.
Yeah, what was the satchel bombs? And they did.
Yeah,
did they do dev wounds too?
The demo charges. No. Listen. The demo charges were not okay. All right, this is the greatest fucking thing in 10. All right, they need to go back. They cannot begin to tell you guys how badly they neutered this weapon from like people being like, you need 5 10-mans of this to being like, what are you doing bringing a 5-man that has this? Like, why would you ever consider this? It was D6 plus 3 shots, blast, on 5s, sure, at 10-2-2. Mind you, you can attach a Primus to give them sustained, or not sustained, but full rerolls, and then you would crit 5s, and they would have sustain from the detachment. You would 3-inch deep strike. They were attached to acolytes with hand flamers that had the rubric rule to where they always reroll once to wound, but full wound rerolls if you're on a point. And it was D6 plus 3. You had 4 of these. It was D6 plus 12. You killed God. It didn't matter. Because it also came strapped with 5 hand flamers, and you're hitting something with a Rich Runner, so it's plus 1 AP and ignore cover. So it's 10-3-2, full wound rerolls, full hit rerolls, sustain crit 5s. Go fuck yourself. It doesn't matter. You're dead.
That is wild.
God.
Yeah.
And then you killed it, and they did it again.
And it would come back.
Well, we would do it twice a turn because you could double strap back at the start of this.
Oh, that's right.
Half of the reason they changed the thing to where you had to say the strat was because GSC would 3-inch deep strike, do that with one, and then 3-inch deep strike and do that with another squad. If you ever used your Overwatch in any phase, you could not stop it happening at least once because you could, for sure, Overwatch the second time. Great. Anyways, I get them back. Cool. They're going to do it the same thing again. I'm just going to leave the models there. It doesn't fucking matter. You're taking demos now. Oh, it was fair and balanced, and we should have it again.
No, just for subtext. He's lying.
What an
lying.
interesting
It wasn't fair, nor
take.
was it balanced.
So I will say for the nerfs, when they did nerf the weapon, they took away the plus 3. So it's just D6 shots, and they took away a pip of strength, I want to say. And if it was ever better in any way, it probably was. And the trauma is making me forget it. So I'm not too sad.
Yeah.
God, it was the greatest weapon.
Do you have a core memory from the dark times, Joey?
Yeah, because I played Thousand Suns at this time. It was pretty fun. I ended up the first GT that I went to of the edition on War Games live stream. If you want to go see something hilarious, I played into double Stompa, and so there's 2 different times that something happened that was, relatively crazy. So the first one, like Magnus is like, he's already shot him. Magnus has like 10 wounds left. And he's like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to charge him with the Stompa. And I'm like, shit, this is where I die because it's damage 10. Even at -1, it doesn't matter. I have 10 wounds left. I'm going to die. And then one at a time, because I think he told me to, I proceeded to pass 9 out of 9 4-ups.
It was pretty rude.
That's so beautiful.
So that was, yeah. And so then the next turn, one of the Stompas is on an objective, and I put 10 Terminators next to it and said, you don't have an armor save anymore. By the way, you're dead.
Well, that's right. You could just strip an armor save.
Yep.
I forgot
You could just
about
remove their armor save. And Stompas had a 2-up.
time.
And so I was just like, nah.
If I didn't have an armor save that was higher than a 5-up, I'd probably be really mad about that.
It was a rough time.
Early on, I ran a lot of Dreadnoughts with their 2-up saves, and the amount of times that just got removed was sad.
Mm-hmm. And it was crazy because it wasn't even Terminators most of the time. You had fucking 5 Rubric Marines killing a Dreadnought on accident because he doesn't have an armor save.
Yep.
I do distinctly remember one of my guard friends at the time, me not paying attention and being like, boy, they're really complaining about how their Dorn just died. And you know what? I bet you $5 it was because Magnus said no more armor, just die.
Mm-hmm. What a time. Any other core memories to address during the dark times before we move on to a slightly brighter time?
Was this also when Necrons were always Necrons, but
Necrons are Necrons. Yeah.
Necrons are next.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
cool.
so during this period, like we get the Tyranid Codex, we get the Space Marine Codex, and we get the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. All those happen, and nobody cares about them, really.
Do want to give one shout out because Invasion Fleet has always been one of my favorite detachments, just on a flavor standpoint of the high fleet that adapts to whatever it's coming against. You can just decide, and that is you adapting at that point. That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so
Invasion
sick.
Fleet, like Tyranid's got one of the coolest written codexes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Their data sheets are just lacking, and their army rule is just not good in the end.
I miss a 9-man stack of warriors in 9th edition in Leviathan. God bless.
Man.
Yeah. And then their sad Grot misdetachment.
I was playing 8th edition 6 Hive Guard. That was a fun time.
Kraken Chronos, baby, let's go.
But what also comes out during this period is the Necron Codex, but is completely overshadowed by Eldari at the time. That is until they finally put the nail in the coffin on Eldari and point them out of contention as we enter the next 6-month meta where we get Krons, the start of
Oof.
the Orc roller coaster, GSC explode and implode at the same time,
Yeah.
and Wolf Jail makes its appearance.
Which is just the inception of jail as an archetype.
Yeah.
Observe it retrospectively. So I'm gonna let you all know my second and sometimes in hot contention for first least favorite faction. Just hate man. Necrons suck to play. Okay. Like, I'm sorry
They
if
really
you play
do.
Necrons. Like, you gotta know. This is to the people. I'm looking at the camera right now. You gotta know. That's boring. It can't be fun for you. What happened in your life that you need to see people that sad? God, man. You, like, I know you're a fucking masochist, something. I don't.
The
Race?
multitudes of ways, too.
I like.
Starting
The
Hyper
first
crit.
time I really realized they were a problem was GSC with infinite damage, with bits and jokes aside. Yes, our damage wasn't okay. And I had like 40 neophytes and a demo charge brick go into Wraiths and 3 were dead. And I went, what the fuck? What?
And you go, there's
There's
15
15
more
more?
of them? Yeah. Yeah. I will say to
Sorry, go. Sorry, I'm
No,
gonna
you're
go off.
good.
Go.
You're good. To further Floop's point, though, this is coming off of Jeremy. Did you learn in 9th edition? You learned at the end of 9th, or did you start?
the last year of 9th edition.
Okay, so you had already seen it. So this is at this point just over 6 months ago that Necrons had come off of basically auto 100-point games.
Oh, yeah. It was Krons and Sisters mostly, right, that did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we still had faction secondaries, and they went, oh man, my secondaries score because I existed on turn 2 and I never have to score again. Great. Can you score 100?
Shout out to
Oh.
GSC for having such an iconic secondary that it just became baseline in 10th edition.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Sabotage, beautiful.
Yep. But yeah, so they literally, Necron players came off of one of the most insane things that they've ever done in
Yeah.
a competitive environment. And then they come back into this and they're like, yeah, let's keep going.
So let's talk about the journey of Necrons during this time period. So first we start with Hypercrypt being like gross, right? Matt Laura wins LVO. Everyone's like, whoa. Largely due to his opponent making a mistake in the final round.
Take that, Folger.
Take that, Folger.
He and I laughed at him over dumplings at the last LVO, so I can say it's not too mean. I'm not just starting beef, but
That's
Holy
fine.
shit.
That's fine. He ends up winning Worlds later and is considered one of the best players in the world now today. So there's that.
Is it Folger?
It is Folger.
Is that who he was?
Yeah,
It was Matt
Yeah.
Laura and Folger?
yeah. I remember
wild.
because fucking Yurik's driving us to Chinese food to like treat us to something, and then Folger's like, "Yeah, and what fucking idiot would just leave like a 9-inch like circle in their deployment zone, like some dumbass?" And I go, "Yeah, that
Yep.
was kind of a stupid move." And he goes, "Floof, that was me."
So we have 6-inch deep striking monoliths with Hypercrypt, which is disgusting.
Oof.
And that's so good. It ends up getting nerfed. But then they're like, oh, but wait, have you seen all these Catan? And then there's the Catan mini meta within the Necron meta
Yep.
that are quite literally running around. Oh, look, we have half damage, and I give 3 of this one, and it's tiny on a base. But thinking of the guy with the sight,
Transcendent. Well,
No,
that's the
the other one.
Nightbringer.
the Nightbringer, who is still cutting through swaths of units today.
He's like, you're like, oh, this god is on a 40mm base.
I don't understand how like they're basically rewarding that model for existing by giving him a new model. For what the
Yeah.
fuck he's been doing this edition, he should stay that way until 11th. I'm just saying.
I just
I'm
hope they put him
salty,
on a
but-
50 at this point.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
model's
we
massive.
don't know. They haven't announced when that model's releasing, right?
No, they haven't.
They've just shown it to us. So
I
it
hope
could
it's a year
be
and a half
coming out in
out.
11th.
Yeah.
It could
God.
be like the first 11th edition model. And I will say, as much as I do, like, I don't hate Necrons, but yes, they are annoying. That model's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, the new
It's
one
great.
is really cool.
Some of the models are super sick. I genuinely
Yeah.
do love them. But then, someone's just like, yeah, here's these 20 warriors and they're stealth and they have a 4-up invuln and I can regenerate 5 times in a phase. And I just want to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Why did I decide to do this on an online Teams event and on WTC? I'm not thinking of any specific memories at all.
Speaking
was
of
super
specific
fun.
memories, this takes me into my core memory of this time period mostly, which is mostly the fact that one of my best friends who I've played 40K with since I started played 18 Wraiths pretty much every time we played during this time. And it developed a knot in my stomach when I think about it today. It psychs me out still.
It's just like to the point to where like they'll make like one save. Like they could make 1 out of 7, right? Something to where like it totally low rolled for them. And I'll still look at it and be like, this shit again. Making fucking saves. What is this,
Of course
man?
you rolled 2 5s.
But like then it's also sometimes just not consistent. I've had it to where in Brood Brothers, 20 neophytes, unbuffed, nothing going for them, shoots and kills 5.
Yeah. And you're like, wait,
What?
no?
What? God, man.
Yeah. It was wild. It was a wild time. And
Don't even
throughout
get me
these-
started on
these 6
crypto
months-
thralls. Sorry, we have to talk
Necron-
about other things. Go.
Anyway, Necrons just persist now from here to the end of the edition, presumably, as just a good faction. At no point are they really ever out of it from here. They always have a build. Always.
Yeah, there has been, I'll say, like a handful of weeks here or there where they've just had to adapt, and then they come right back.
It's like the GSC thing of like GSC. I know I keep bringing it back to the one faction. I apologize, but I know I'm the person.
It's your specialty. It's okay.
Like when GSC love it when GSC isn't meta, right? Because if you
Mhm.
aren't tech for a deep strike army, you can get fucked. And Necrons love it sometimes when you aren't tech for wraiths because no one can tech for that. So sometimes, 12 wraiths be upon you, canoptic cord, or just triple DD Star Shatter. God, man,
Yeah.
so good. Although that comes
Yeah.
later, right?
No, way later. Yeah.
And
yeah, way
and
later. Star Shatter.
this also, by the way, this is how much that hurt. Wolf Jail, once again, I think is probably the more defining thing of this era, and we haven't talked about it that much. This is
We
like
also-
the start of an archetype.
Yes. We also have not talked about orcs, which came out at the same time.
Yeah, so orcs are this tragedy, this Greek tragedy, effectively, where everything is amazing, and then they get punched in the gut, and then they're amazing, and then they get punched in the gut, and that just keeps happening over and over and over again. Rightfully so, sadly.
It's like, to me, they have felt like a more dramatic Custodes in the way that they are threat overload, right?
Yeah.
To where they're going to have one or too many units that just tips the scale. That crackback is just a little too hard. You can't dig out just enough. The Wardens maybe made a couple saves. The Bully Boys did whatever the hell, right? And so it's like, if it's too good, suddenly now everyone's spamming 3 of the really good unit and they're just stat checking with melee pressure. And if it's too bad, then they just kind of flounder around and you shoot them to death, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just Custodes, they kind of got right. They got at a 45% and said, we're just going to sit you here and nudge you. And then orcs were like, what if we just put you in a slingshot like every 6 months and then reeled you back in, right? Like I don't know which
So-
is worse.
So orcs live this crazy lifestyle starting here, because Warhorde was just good up until that point.
Warhorde
And
was
then-
good. It was just
And then they
generically
get
good.
Bully Boys and
It's
everything.
just
from there.
sustained on melee. Every melee attack, it's so good. Because you don't like orcs seem great, and then you play anything but Warhorde, and you go, wow, it's like you really feel the loss of that sustained.
100%.
It's
Well, it's also because that's the detachment that has fight on death.
yeah,
So
that's real good.
because I'll say, like, I played Dallas Open right because it was the Orc Codex was legal by like it made the cutoff by like 3 days.
Mhm.
And
Oh
I played,
yeah, it did.
I played Green Tide, and like, well,
Such a
because like
beautiful list, such a
it was-
beautiful list.
So cool.
it was the way that I had already been playing. Like I was
Yeah.
already playing orcs. I was already playing 60 boys. I just enjoy that. And I was like, this is literally what I'm doing. And it's just going to get better with the codex. That's awesome. So I was playing that. Yeah. But like, even then, even at the height of it with all of its strength, like not having fight on death was felt all the time.
And like even then, Green Tide's got the thing you can res models. You have the Blood Surge. Like it's got a great strat sweep, but it's still just
does.
like
It was so good,
Yeah,
but
Fight on
it
Death is
needed
just so-
to get punched.
No, Bully Boys needed to get punched and Green Tide was undeservingly destroyed.
I mean,
I
that's
will
just
say-
the story of orcs this edition, though.
Yes.
I told this in the preamble, but just to put this out to the listeners, my still favorite time playing against Bully Boys is I go up against Edwin at the time, who was the guy who actually just went undefeated at the recent major, still on Orcs. Good for him. Although he's on Warhorde now, but he plays Bully Boys and he throws just all of the knobs with the feel no pains into the middle of the
Mhm.
board, right? Well, I've been screening all game, I've been throwing up stuff, and he just balls up just enough. And GSC still had the 3-inch deep strike to where I just wrap him with neophytes, just put him in a cage. He had already overwatched somewhere else, and I just say, "Hey, buddy, you're sitting here for your next turn." And like there were some storm boys off here. There was like a 10-man over there. Didn't matter. Kill it. And then just for 2 turns, just don't stop shooting. Just hold down the trigger. And they were still alive at the end of that. It still bought me enough points to where they were out of the game. But the fact that they were still alive from being effectively put into a barrel filled with fish. Yeah, no, it was a very gross army, and it still is. I
Yes.
played into it at Challengers Cup. It's still real. That like 2 turns of law is fucking rough to deal
It
with.
is, if they have a
We-
bunch of war bosses and a bunch of mega knobs,
Yeah.
like it's tough to deal with.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't even need mega knobs. Like you can just do
Yeah.
like 10
Knobs.
regular knobs, and a war boss is
my God.
insane.
Yeah, that's the most
That's so
efficient
good.
unit in their codex by a long shot.
Yeah.
in my
And we've
opinion.
talked about it. We've said it already. People have forgotten what 2 WAS feels like,
Yeah, it's gross.
and it's bad.
But let's talk about jail a little bit. See, here in the Northwest, the Space Wolves Wolf Jail was very well known. We had Jaden playing it, Joel was playing it, a few others were playing it to tremendous success out here. In the rest of the US, nobody had even heard of Wolf Jail, which was very shocking to most of us because nobody, like, it just was strong for like a year and
Mhm.
nobody realized how good it was outside of this region, which is crazy.
It's so funny that just this faction, which just geographically fits the Pacific Northwest, is like where like the meta is being made. I don't know. That's always
It's
just
so
been my
strange.
favorite. It's so funny to me.
Yeah. And then, well, they end up figuring out how good it is, and the polls bring it to Worlds that year, and I believe win, if not do very well, because in large in part because of that list. And it's just
Yeah.
like, okay,
Oh,
it was great.
I had to go against that at LVO that year. My round 4 was into Linton, which was the guy just behind Forrest at the time, and it was Wolf Jail with 2 infiltrator squads that had the Phobos Librarian attached to them that said you can't that gives them lone op. And wow, a 12-inch deep strike denial aura on a 12-inch lone op. Don't know how GSC deals with that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was kind of an auto loss. But,
But yeah, that was a really big moment, and I think one of the other really defining moments of this era of Warhammer and during the edition is Sisters. Sisters get their decks during this time. And what was very fascinating about it is right before the Codex came out is when Kolodner figured out how good Sisters are. My favorite story during this time is that at a big major down in Florida, right after Art of War had released their like tier list of the armies and put Sisters in like E, right? He proceeds to beat almost every one of them and win that major with Sisters, with just like literally one of every unit. And then they get their book. And the book was written as if they were bad. And dear God, is Sisters dominant on release.
like the Triumph is so cool, man. God, that unit just warps how you can play that faction. But also at the same time, the book itself was so it was like a Magnus that you didn't need to take, if that makes sense. To where like you take him and it's just game changing. Like the game warps around the existence of Magnus. And Sisters just had that in the Triumph, but also Vol.
Yeah. Running around with Volgon, you're just like, okay.
I just remember like, what a Vol pop out and like shoot a knight to death with her and her Nundums and then charge and kill another in melee and just being like, what the what was that?
And then she's like,
The
I'll just
fuck that
stand
guy, I
here in
guess.
the open now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you want to shoot me? No, anyways, Miracle the 4-up.
Yeah, by the way.
God. That book was so cool. I'm glad they got the good writers.
Speaking of writers, this is when the narrative starts hitting, as you guys mentioned in the preamble, that there are 2 writers, or at least 2 writing teams doing books. One team who's like, man, it'd be cool if things could do this. And another team is like, we should be reserved in the way that we write books.
Now, I will say there was give and take to both because the one that released next to Sisters was these boys, the ones I don't
Yeah.
shut up about. I found a way to bring them back in the discussion, but GSC was still like, and this is coming off of 9th edition to where like it's just one of the best books like ever. I think was that yeah, it was just like
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, don't even get me started on Crossfire. Fuck, Crossfire, just
Crossfire
a beautiful mechanic. You were gaming. Anyways, so it came out and still was a balanced book, but it was much more reserved, right? You lose the Feel No Pain on the Aberrants, just how everything was. I was super excited. Xeno Creed seemed super cool. Host was awesome. They moved some stuff around, but overall still a great book, but just the power level wasn't there. And then you look at Sisters, and it seemed very weighted to one side.
It was
If that
super
makes
obvious.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a handful of great units. It's almost how Death Guard is now, to where there's like, here is this package, it is amazing. Anything outside of this bubble, it's
Dog
okay.
shit. Yeah.
And so then you saw to where GSC kind of gets slowly brought up a little bit, and it's almost like Tau now, to where like the internal balance is so good that once the faction is good, there's a bunch of diversity. You can make a bunch of different detachments work. Whereas Sisters, they got hit in their one build, and they were just kind of like, "What the fuck do we do now?" Right? They weren't Eldar. They don't have 4 other detachments to go try out and find out
Right.
they're still busted. You know, so it was a give and take, because on Codex launch, a book would be a problem, and it would be a problem for a couple months, and then it would just become non-existent for 6 months because it got nerfed into the ground. Or a book would come out underpowered, everyone would complain, and within 3 months, you have a real faction that is just feels good to play. So it was give and take to give a little bit of, like, you know, not everything was bad, right? Not
Yeah.
looking at AdMech.
I mean, the books that come out during this time, we have Orcs, Custodes, Tau, CSM, Sisters, and GSC. I would argue, and I still think today, like, CSM was an A+ release. It remains an A+ release. I think that book and that army has
It's
been
so
a
good.
sleeper for so long. It is so incredible. I don't get it.
People will tell me CSM is bad. I'm like, have you seen Dark
Ridiculous.
Pact?
It's
Have you
ridiculous.
Overwatched with Dark Pact on a Vindicator? What are
It's
you doing?
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
It's-
tell you how many
it's
times
crazy.
I've just been shot off the board by Wyatt with
Oh my
just like,
God.
oh, I'm going to pick lethals. And then this rule gives me sustained or whatever and just rolls 3 dice and like it's 9
Yeah.
hits. I'm like, okay.
Like, yeah,
Look,
I'm gonna die.
That's exactly it. You're like, I'm gonna shoot with this Vindicator, but I'm also really close to this Hellbrute, and so I'm just gonna do all of the things. You're like, all right.
Steve,
Oh, yeah. Cool.
who's like half demon and half vending machine over there, believes in me,
Yeah.
so get shit on, idiot.
Yep.
Like, okay, I got it. Yeah, sure, fine.
Great.
God, they just do so much damage, right? They die much quicker than Space Marines, but like they're the thing to where, like, yeah, man, if you fuck up in front of a CSM army, if you reveal too much, it's just gone.
It just dies.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
With exceptions, of course, but for the most part, it's just gone.
Tau needed to be rebuilt for the most part
From the
because
ground up.
we looked at that book and everyone was like, wow, this is amazing. How good is Tau? And then they weren't good because, as it turns out, their army rule is just too many T's and C's.
Well,
Yeah.
and at that point, they were very expensive.
Yeah, they were super overcosted because they were way undercosted, and then they went skirt in the opposite direction, and it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, and it's the same problem too, right? Because they were like, the big thing that everybody was looking at was crisis suits, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna 6-inch deep strike 9 fusion guns, and I'm gonna kill anything in the game. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
that's 400 points. So good luck.
How many of those can you have?
Can we also just talk about the fucking meltdown of, I mean, it's happened to like every edition for like 4 or 5 editions, and that's coming from someone who's only been here for 2, of just crisis suit lock, of, you know, all of them being like, if you're this gun, you're this crisis suit, and you can only have these
Oh, yeah.
guns, and people just losing their mind, some of which totally valid. It's frustrating, totally get it, but also at the same time, you look at what you could equip on a Tau data sheet, and it was like 12 different things. It's like, what are we doing here? Let's split them up. And I think how they did it was great. So, you know, it did kind of ruin some people's businesses that was purely based around 3D printed cyclic ion blasters, but they can move on to a new STL.
There's
Which-
so many.
And I think little things like that is fine, right? Where they're like, hey, this gun has been the only gun people are using for 4 years. Let's make it bad.
I think also if you look at it, it's a really great way to make the other guns relevant, because effectively you still have the same chassis and you're picking what gun you want, but based on the gun, you're changing your datasheet ability.
Which
And like that,
and the datasheet abilities are relevant.
yes, they're all relevant. They're super cool. I genuinely think, looking back on it, I really do like this iteration that they've done with the crisis suits, and I think it was cool.
my complaint was taking 6-mans away.
That's fair.
Fair
That
enough.
was like the only problem that I had with it. I was like, yes, like splitting things up, cool. I like that. But, shoehorning them into 3-mans was like, all right, well,
I think if they
like
got
a lot of times 3 just isn't enough.
I really think that they should be more flexible with point costing things a little bit better. And I'm not saying like one model equals X number of points and you can bring 2 or 4. Stick
Yeah.
with 3 and 6. I'm fine with that. But make 6 just like really expensive. Because maybe your list just needs that really expensive thing to
Mhm.
do what it needs to do.
Sometimes you
But
do just need to throw a brick at someone,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
But, like,
like the opposite of
have
what
the
they're
medium
doing.
cost, a reasonable cost, and then an over cost if it proves to be a little too strong.
yeah.
Right.
Like, I can just imagine someone being like, man, everyone around me is playing Horde. Like, we got Guard over here, we got GSE, we got Tyranids. I'm just gonna drop 6 Flamers in front of them and just
Just see what happens.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. That unit can, in auxiliary detachment, the anti-infantry flamer or Gatling unit can be AP3, and it's beautiful.
Dude, we just at the Matopacalypse, my buddy, we were getting some test games in, and he had 3 units of fusion, right? And I was playing it a swarm subterranean assault, and we like changed his list like midway through deployment, and we brought in like a flamer unit, and we changed like something around to also get him a piranha. He brings it to this major. That flamer suit did fucking work. He's playing Wreck Cadre, so it gets buffs. Genuinely, like, you can have it to where you eat 2 or 3 things. You rapid ingress it, overwatch something that didn't realize you could do that, run up,
Mhm.
shoot something, and then overwatch on their turn again. That's 3 units you fucked up for free. It's so good. So seeing them now, like the Tau book at the time was rough, but I think
Mhm.
they're in a really great place because they were internally very balanced.
Now, the last book that we really haven't talked about much is the Custodes book. And we haven't talked about it much because that book has remained mid and weird.
Like, why karate? What?
Yeah, martial katas sound really cool, but in the end, it's just kind of CSM but done worse because their
Yeah.
lack of data sheets.
I get sometimes
and-
I'm in my room at 3 in the morning, my wife has gone to bed, and I'm listening to a really great song that I've put on shuffle for the past 10 songs, and I'm fighting ninjas, and I'm beating them all up, and I'm the greatest. And then I look at myself, realize I'm 29 years old, and probably should do something with my life. But then I also don't go and write the Custodes book and make their entire army rule about what I just did.
It was the greatest pusher of the narrative of the two
Yes.
writers because you had the
Yes.
Sisters book release and the Custodes book release at the same time, and the Custodes were strong at the beginning of the
Wait,
edition, and the
wait, was
Sisters
it?
were weak at the beginning of the edition.
I think it was CSM Custodes because it was
Was it?
GSC Sisters.
Was it? Okay.
It was GSC and Sisters.
And was it? But it wasn't Orcs Tau.
You're right. It was GSC and Sisters.
10th edition Custodes.
It was Orcs and Custodes. Oh, it was Orcs and Custodes.
Orcs and Custodes.
Yes.
That's right.
You're comparing Bully Boys and all that shit
Yeah.
to what Wardens do, and you're like, what?
Exactly. Which is that's the exact point, right? Is that is the like final nail of going, yeah, there's definitely 2 different teams here.
Anywho, let's go ahead and close that and jump into the Pariah Nexus, starting in July of 24 until the end of the year, of course. GSC takes nerfs again,
We
and then
didn't
comes
deserve this.
roaring back.
Yeah, there's been like 2 or 3 times to where we've taken a nerf, and then like, the people's first reactions are, oh no, we got hit, blah da da, and then like everyone just kind of sits in the Discord for like 5 minutes and just kind of looks around and goes, did that matter? Did that do anything?
You could still bring
No?
like 37 units, right?
We're still fucking gaming. Okay, sure. Like,
Cool.
yeah, who gives it? Because we didn't have resurgence points at the time.
Yeah.
I think
No.
this was
Surgeon's
okay.
points was
I think at this time
Brotmas.
we had gotten rid of the +3 for battle line, and I think they at this point had made it to where 5 up,
Yes.
+1 if it's rounds, 1 and 2, +1 if you're battle line. So everything battle line came back on a 4 up or a 3 up. Everything else was 5 up, 4 up. And like this was when I was starting to make the Swarm Host list and was still just kind of like, I'm just gonna throw 120 neophytes on the board. And
Let's see what
Matt
happens.
says that's 180, and then also bring like 40 fucking Akos, and Matt says that's 60. Like, and sometimes you just have the game to where you don't fail the 4-up and you just have 4,000 points on the board. Like, yeah, sure, we'll take a 5-point hike here. So, who cares? Like, they hit Aberrants, I think. This was the Biosynctic nerf, I think. Maybe?
Yeah,
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, because that was rough. There wasn't a great melee pressure army at the time. Like, EC wasn't out. World Eaters wasn't out. Like, there wasn't really something that could do Biosynctic, so they hit that, and then everyone was like, oh, we can just spam idiots. Like, we can just carpet guys out, right?
Yeah. This
It
was a
fun,
really
but
quiet
only for the
meta.
GSC player. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was quiet.
This was a really weird and quiet meta because things were just kind of settled in. We didn't get anything new until the Grotmas hit outside of Blood Angels. It was just
I
this
think
like
Blood Angels
really...
happened after Rotmus, right?
No,
No,
it
no,
was right
no.
before. It was
Okay.
Blood Angels and then like a very quiet period where everyone was just like, well, I guess we're just going to play like as a Space Marine player was like, I guess I'm just going to play Vindicators and Marines. That was just kind of the build because that was in the world's meta where we saw a parking lot Gilliman kind of just come in, and that
Yeah.
defined the meta for Space Marines up until about a year, effectively.
Yeah,
It's still good.
because at this point, the Desolation Marines had been nerfed
Yeah,
3
Yeah,
times or
they
in
got
3
hit really
ways.
early,
'Cause
down
they
to
got-
only 5 bans.
Ability change, point increase, and unit size, which I think is the only time that's happened.
Yeah, that was hit before Eldari was fixed.
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
amazing.
It was just, but yeah. So you had Eldar with Gilliman and Uriel and a captain and bad wording from the side of the rules team that
Oh,
didn't know how to write
right.
rules, and you've got Ultramarines with 97 CP every turn.
Yeah, I mean, it was a time. It was an abuse of mechanics.
They'd just be
And-
re-rolling shit just to feel something. Like, they,
Yeah.
on shit that didn't matter.
No.
Just because they could.
Let me stick up for let me just stick up for the Marines because
No.
everyone's gonna shit
You
on
don't
us.
need to.
I'm gonna. We may have 97 data sheets, but about 12 of them are really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem.
And
Like,
you got
Marines
3
get
more
pushed out
data
because
sheets
people
by
are
the
like,
end
I
of that
really want to play
sentence.
this, Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, and you got 3 more data sheets by the end of that sentence.
Look, don't
Go
hate
look,
Nate.
GW released another one.
God, I can't wait to see Calgar snatched up in Phobos armor. It's gonna give me Reaver Calgar. It's gonna be great.
You know what? Bring it on. I want a Calgar of every armor type just because it would be hilarious.
Scout
Anyway.
Calgar.
Anyway,
Just
Space
buff
Marines are
naked
good at this
Calgar.
time frame. Vindicators are good. This is when Space Marines take the form that they will take for the remainder of the edition.
I will say there is a small thing here that I don't know if this thought had ever started to be revisited, but it felt like for me, or maybe it was just I was noticing it at the time, but this was kind of when people started going, I really hope when they finish and print all the codexes, they just give us a year. They just give us some time, right? Because what was happening at that time was, here is the meta, right? This is what everyone's taking. But then it started to evolve and go a little bit deeper, and like things were changing up a little bit to like go back and forth, and it started to act like a meta in other games that have much longer periods between changes. Like, while it was stale on the surface, there kind of was innovation in it, because it's like, how do you deal with the best thing? What are the changes you are making? And so there's like, people are going, I can't wait to do this when everyone's being able to, mix it up, right?
Yeah. Speaking of can't wait, Blood Angels hit, and then we go into December, and Grotmas happened. And this is one of the most exciting times for content creators and everyone else, because every day we get a new detachment during this period.
Dude, I've never seen so many Tactical Tortoise videos so quickly.
Dude,
Right.
I wish I was just a generic 40k tuber. Dude, that bag would have been fucking... Oh my
I
God.
posted on TikTok every day the new thing, just like going over it and talking about each detachment. It was so much fun. And it was so much fun for playing the game too. There was just it just created so many different avenues of like reasonably good detachments. There were some real duds.
Yeah.
But we got a bunch of cool stuff.
I think 2, right? 2, maybe 3 duds.
Yeah, just a few.
Tyranids, for sure.
For sure. One of the worst.
Eldar.
Yeah, that's a
But
bad
yeah, Eldar was
detachment.
bad one. I haven't even heard anyone talk about it even after the Codex dropped. So Thousand Suns, right?
Yes, that one was pretty.
It's better. It was designed for the codex changes that they had, but it's still not very
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
It has more gas than people give it credit, though.
And
Warbane
Knights, right?
totally
The
isn't
Knight-
good,
the-
right? Grey Knights.
Well, yeah,
Bad.
Warbane hits, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Don't even need a fucking book. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they did not. Warbane resolved all their problems. I get Wrath of the Rock, which is my favorite detachment. It's so much
Was
fun to
that
play.
in Grotmus, or was it the second wave of Grotmus in the summer?
I believe it was one of the last Grotmist detachments.
I thought you were second wave.
Yeah, Wrath is new, buddy. I also accidentally cut Joey off. He is correct with Knights one being a miss as well. The Imperial Knight, because that was what you brought Admech, right?
Yeah, you brought AdMech, but then you don't have AdMech rules, so the units are useless.
Yeah. Okay, also shout out to the Chaos Knights one, which allowed you to take cultists, but then had it to where it didn't keyword you would eat friendly cultists. So if you were
Yes.
in the mirror match or just against, I think, into any CSM, you could just eat their cultists.
Eat their cultist, yeah.
For the buff, which is, they should have kept that. I'm sorry, that's funny.
You're right. It was
good.
the
It
second
was-
wave detachment in June. That was my bad.
Boing.
I don't
Is
even
it
remember the Dark Angels
Unforgiven?
detachment release then during Grotmus, the original.
Did they get one?
Ugh.
I don't think every
Lions?
single army got one, right?
I thought every single army.
No,
well,
every single one got one.
Yeah, everyone did.
It's
Hold on, let
either
me see.
Company of Hunters, Inner Circle, maybe Lions Blade, because Unforgiven was Index, right?
Well, it was the Lions something.
It was Lions Blade
Yeah,
Task
Lions Blade
Force.
Task
Yeah.
Force.
Oh yeah, because that's the melding of Ravenwing and Deathwing.
It was
Okay.
whack.
What was the?
But we
God
got
one?
Slanesh Demons.
That one was unreasonable.
It was bad. That was so good. It was just too good.
Unreasonable.
So let's see. Okay, the top ones we get outside of the last one that I'm going to mention because that is the best one. It warped the fucking game. Needed changes immediately. Outside of that, it was Star Shatter, which was good.
Huge. Still
Final
good today.
Day, which is
Mhm.
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Space Marines. What they got the Psyker one, so that one wasn't
Librarius,
whatever.
yeah.
That was whatever.
Which is
Death
much
Guard
better
got-
than you think.
Death Guard got
It's
an
the-
okay one.
I
Which
think
at
it's
the
the
time I
Slanesh
felt
one because
changed.
that one was just sweeping events.
Death Guard got
DACA.
the Flyblown hosts.
It was more DACA, right?
Yeah,
Orcs
more
got
DACA
more
was-
DACA.
Grotmus detachment.
Yeah. I think if more DACA didn't happen, Slanesh was the best because more DACA is just insane,
Yeah.
right?
It was crazy.
Which is another perfect example of the nerfs going too far.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, orcs getting something awesome and then getting punched in the dick.
Because they had
They've got
They had
another round of
ta-
that, but we're not out yet. Tactical is after
tactical is
Tactical-
after.
because they got more DACA in the first round, and it was insane. And then it got nerfed into the dirt. And then in Grotmus 2, they got Tactical Brigade, which was also insane.
Yeah, crazy. It played Marines better than Marines, which was insane.
It's just I know they always say in every edition they're gonna break pink horrors or blue horrors, Eldar, and then knights or whatever. But just also every edition, orc shooting just fucking they just strap one too many keywords, and then someone's like, oh yeah, that's a lot of keywords on something rolling 80 dice. I should probably do that.
Yeah, they have this problem of making these guns. They're like, well, it's a lower hitting opportunity, so we'll increase the volume and damage. And you're just like, no, pick one.
Yeah.
Choose
Which I
one
think
of
we've
those.
talked about before, right? Is that all of the, I know I've talked about it to other people, every specialized orc gun is a million times better than it should be for its point cost because it doesn't hit well.
Yeah, because it hits on 5s. Yeah. The second you give that rerolls or sustain 2, holy fuck. But yeah, just real quick, going over these. Lions of the Emperor was out for Custodes, right? That's what they got for Grotmus. That was a decent one that breathed some
Yep.
amount of life into them.
Still good today.
Drukari got basically,
Wager, right?
So Drukari got put into the game,
yes. But Drukari got they got permission
allowed
to play.
the game. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. Grey Knights got Warpbane, GSC got Final Day.
Turn
There were
of
some real fucking
Deathwatch.
bangers. Yeah, Deathwatch was also allowed to, go for a second LVO win. Yeah, there was some good ones. Admech got Halo's Creed, which
Halo's
was
Creed, which is now
okay
Incredible.
at the time is now just army defining. Like so many times I try and write Skitarii Hunter cohort because that's the Storm detachment to me. So I want to go do that, and I look at it and I'm just kind of like, I mean, I could just kind of play Halo's Creed and just kill someone. Like I could just shoot him to death.
But
Like, why would you
and this
do
is a
one when you
recent.
can just shoot him off the table, right?
Well, yeah, I mean it's a different thing, right? Because and that's a recent change, so we'll get into it
Yeah.
later. But
Yeah.
that's an AdMech thing. Currently, they don't really have they have like one actually bad choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're very good now, but yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll
But
get
at the
to
same
that.
time, it was like Drukhari was allowed to play the game, and then AdMech was also kind of allowed to be brought in as well because Halo's Creed. So that's good.
So during this time, the books that get released are Guard, Eldari, Emperor's Children, World Eaters, Death Guard, Thousand Suns.
Shout out Rogel, Dorn, tank commanders for letting me have the dream of 6 Dorns on the table.
My
I'm going
God.
0-5, but I'm blowing you the fuck up.
The core memory that I have during this portion mostly is coming back from LVO and Joey and I saying, maybe we should start a podcast.
That's
That's
true.
cute.
That is when it happened.
Specifically because we were talking about the 6 Dorns.
Yes, because I was
Ready.
unbelievably excited to put 6 Dorns on the table. I was
Yeah.
unreasonably excited. I was like, I already have 3. Who can I get more from?
Dude, I saw sub 250, I think, on one of the Dorns at the time, or maybe this was at a data slate later down the line, and I was like, I can bring 4 Dorns in Brood Brothers. It's probably bad, but I can do it.
Boy.
Yeah, it's God, it was so good. Can I just say, I think this period was my favorite meta. If you
It was
just
a good meta.
if you chop the line right before Death Guard,
Yes.
it was
Wonderful.
probably I think at this point in time, 40k was probably at its second healthiest point in the game.
Yeah.
Like
Because
genuinely.
all of the broken Grotmas had been fixed.
Yes.
And
We had a
things
huge
were just-
variety of stuff.
yeah, things were just good. The game was just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I've been on a lot of fighting games lately, and I would like to describe this time as a good ass Tekken, to where it's just good, man. It's not the golden age of
Man, we playing
Smash,
some
but
good
it's some
Tekken?
good ass
Come
It's
on.
some good ass
Dude.
Tekken. Like
Eldari gets their codex. That's good.
you
Does
really
need
start,
some nerfs, but is
yes.
just good.
You start to see really diverse like GTs and events to where it's
Mhm.
just top 8s are just kind of like randomize 8 factions and throw them up
Yeah.
there, right?
I think this was not obviously not the first time, but this was the like real hit in the meta where you could look at GTs and go, holy shit, the top 8 is 8 different things.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
It
it wasn't
was-
a one-off, right? Like you look at a GT and you look at another one, you look at another one. Like
I went to RTTs to where every single person was on a different faction.
Yeah, or different detachment. You got very few repeats, if ever, and it was super
Mhm.
cool.
It was so sick. I genuinely love this time. God damn it, Death Guard.
Yeah, it was such a cool meta. Like we had like World Eaters book hits, and everyone's like, World Eaters suck now because it wasn't the same list they'd been playing for a year and a half. Turns out,
Right.
guys, World Eaters are pretty good.
yeah, World Leaders are
Um,
pretty good.
Turns out
You
20
just don't-
Berserks plus Karn just eats the world.
Yeah, you just don't auto include Angron anymore, and I think that's healthy. And we move
Yes.
on.
I love World Eaters players. They're some of my favorite people. Terminally online World Eaters players kind of suck, man. Because I just
Yeah.
for like 6 months leading up to that, it's like we're only a faction because of Angron. I'm so sick of taking Angron. I hate Angron. And then book drops. I can't even take Angron anymore.
Like,
Why
what the
can't I take
hell?
Angron? He's my guy. And I'm just like, I need you motherfuckers to pick one. You might be swapping off shifts, and the guys who hate Angron are like going and touching grass because they're happy now. But like,
Yeah.
God, I need some of y'all to shut the fuck up. I love you,
Yeah.
but oh,
We got Emperor's Children, which everybody was excited about, and it's still such a good army in a few players' hands.
like how? What? How? I keep looking at that book and going, why? What is stopping people?
Why isn't this dominant? It should be dominant. You have the best army rules every rule, every round of the game.
Played that army for 6 months. I felt like I was cheating.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then, of course, Thousand Suns hit, and they're, amused. They're like, it's not as good as the Index.
Mm-hmm.
Still pretty good.
Nothing was ever going
Still-
to be as good as the Index.
And nor should it have been.
Yes.
The Index was stupid.
That army got
That
held up
was a
by
problem.
Magnus and an Index. Like, that was the army.
It was
Magnus and that
it,
Index.
it was held up by Magnus and an Infernal Master with an enhancement. That was the whole army.
Yes.
You're like, what if I shot you with Magnus and killed half your army? And then what if I took this dude and killed the other half your army? Haha.
Wild times.
I remember doing an escalation league at the time, and the TO for the event knew me pretty well. And like, your special warlord would get buffs every month, right? As like you went up and advanced. And he was like, okay, so he was talking to me in person. He goes, who's your warlord? And I go, an Infernal Master. And he just goes, no, change it. I don't care. Absolutely not. I'm not.
Don't get
He just
to
goes,
do
I'm
that.
not doing. Yes, because he knew immediately what I was doing.
I'm not buffing that guy. Not happening.
I did eventually allow him or break him down to where he allowed me to keep it, but then like the buffs would come out and he's just like +1 attack and melee.
That's so mean.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's fair. Touche.
Sure. I'm gonna charge this guy now.
God. I don't know. What were y'all playing during this time? You were just on Marines, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm Marines All Edition, but this is the point in time, I believe, around the time when we get +1 to wound for all Marine chapters that aren't specialized.
Yeah, it's before, because you got that before Death Guard came out.
Yeah, got that before Death Guard came out, which is interesting because this was like a truly variable time where you got so much cool stuff. But it did very clearly define Ultramarines as like the best Marine chapter through and through. And then we also end up losing the infinite CP, of course, which is a very healthy change.
Yeah. I think it's the birth of the sentence that exists to everyone except for Marine players, which is, why don't you just play GTF?
Right. Well, also that, yeah. People realize how good Gladius task force is, and then it gets nerfed the strat or the enhancement for lethal 5s. I think that might have been nerfed a little, maybe in the previous one, but yeah, GTF just becomes the clear and away. This is how you play Marines, regardless of the Marines you're playing.
Question.
Yeah.
Was it this time or right after to when Bloodless Angels hits?
Blood Angels happens during this time.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Because they get
not Bloodless
Angels.
Bloodless Angels specifically. When everyone would take SAG, no Blood Angels, so they could still get the +1 to hit.
Yeah, that
Correct. That was right.
Okay, go ahead.
That's
you were saying
Guard. I think that's like Eldar Guard Codex release time frame. It's before Emperor's Children.
It was right before LVO.
Gotcha. It was fixed by this time. I understand.
Yeah, it was right before LVO that Bloodless Angels was really big. And that we can thank Jack Harpster for this.
And Ennis, he like went to whatever event was like a week before LVO, because they had the UKTC terrain that had the 6-inch, and he just put 15 of those fuckers on the second floor and just said, "All right, I love being European."
Yeah. So they fix the +1 to wound for and reaffirm the Ultramarines as the clear and away best, which is okay. Like, it's fine because you still have different people playing different stuff. Like, AI is still good. Like, they never stop being good. So Marines are fine during this time, if not in some cases a little strong. But the more something is played, which everybody you saw, Triple Ballistus, Triple Vindicator, Gilliman, Calgar, everybody knew how to play that list. Everybody knew the things to look out for. So regardless of how good it was just something that was beatable still. You just had to know the tricks, which was mostly around heroic interventions. But during this time, we also get your list, the one that you and Innes work out together effectively, which is the big 20-man.
My beautiful boys. Yeah, this was around Cali Cup. Just okay, it starts with the old army rule, which at the time was you just still roll for things, right? It's base 5 up, you have 2 +1 conditions. If it's round 1 and 2, you get a +1, and if you're battle line, you get a +1. So battle line's 3s and 4s, everyone else is 4s and 5s. And I just say, I'm just gonna allow myself to roll that die as many times as possible. I slam 6 20-mans of neophytes, and then just fill the list with trash. And I think the epitome of how bullshit that list was is the stream game I had against Ganyo. And I 9-inch deep strike onto a little terrain piece, so I can like shoot something or do an objective. Doesn't matter. And he goes, okay, I'm going to Overwatch. And he Overwatches with like a Hellhound, and he kills the 5-man of Acolytes. And I roll the dice, and I get the 4-up, and I say, cool, I'm just going to leave the models there. And Ganyo just like, he wins this game, but he just like at the table just goes, like,
which is wild, because Ganyo is one of the most like calm, calculated, talented players that I have seen play.
And I annoyed the shit out of him.
Yeah, to create a situation that makes him do that is wild.
Yeah, because like, dude, that army was frustrating. And like, I'm kind of glad I did that, because it also kind of just showed how frustrating it can be. Because even as the player, here's the thing, is either I make all of my rolls and then I only win because I had 4,000 points that game, or I make none of my rolls and I didn't have a fucking army rule. Like, I just didn't, right? And so, but the skeleton of the list starts. I meet Anthony in our last round. We have a great game. He brings me on a stat check. I end up talking with Ennis. Ennis takes the list and he puts in 3 Benefactus, which I wasn't sold for on the time, but I was also dumb at that time because that's the greatest fucking thing.
That's Brain Cannon, right?
Yeah, Brain Cannon. She just gives them lethals. And Ennis was like, hey, so instead of like 1 Neophyte squad with lethals, what if it was like 80 Neophytes? And I was like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I do just shelve 2 5-mans of Flacos and stop trying to make the argument that they're better than the Benefactus. And yeah, it ends up like the list before Neophytes get nerfed, when they were still 120 points. God, they were 120. Oh, or no, maybe 130. No, they were 130. They were which is still outrageous. Beautiful. 100 of them was 650. Beautiful. Anyways, I digress. It was 100, sometimes 120 Neophytes, because then just having 2 naked 20-mans to just make a 9-inch charge at your opponent and just gunk them up while the others keep shooting you. Beautiful. Bunch of Flacos, bunch of Mortars, normally 3 Reductus Saboteurs, because why not make your opponent even more miserable? And the list only gets better when the new army rule comes around this time, which is we can spend the Resurgence points, which just, I love it almost as much as Crossfire. And yeah, this list becomes like the GSC meta for like until Ennis brought too much fucking attention to it.
A little bit,
all right? Just a little fucking bit. Yeah, it was the list that got me 4th at LVO. It was the list that got Ennis basically number 1 in ITC, because at the time Roberts was, but he wasn't supposed to be in the ITC. It would have been Ennis, which they still treat him as the winner. He still gets the free army. With Eldar, he barely plays. And yeah, it just becomes the list, which feels very cool to just kind of stumble into like your army's meta. To me, I can somewhat say this confidently, outside of the broken stuff, outside of Index Eldar or Doc Orcs, I think until its most recent nerf, I think it was the strongest list in 40k. In terms of just the like okay to play strong lists, I think it was the best one in all of 10th edition. I think if you give that list to me or Ennis, we don't lose a game.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's really, it's genuinely hard to beat. The game rules, the way that they were written, made it so that even if you like, let's say take, fixed where you're killing horde units, like you can't just wait until the end of the game. As the way the rules work, they don't count as dying if you just leave them in the sky. Like it's crazy.
People would take Call Assassinate for right reasons. I'm running 5 20-mans and I can bring back a 6 and I have like 9 characters, and then they go to shoot me and I go, bye-bye, thank you. And then they go and charge me. And because I had 3 little idiots over here and I break coherency and I break out of combat and you didn't actually tag me, I'm just going to regenerate in front of you and shoot you. It was oppressive to play against. And if they had just taken away the go away after shooting, I think it would have made it fair to play against. But
we had our special boy, Isaac Tirada, up here playing in that list a lot. And
yeah,
I got within 7, I think, of beating him at an RTT once because I had Reapers. So
yeah,
Reapers will kill a unit.
One of the few things that goes, oh, I have to kill you in 1 activation. All right,
no problem.
Yeah. There was like 3 or 4 units that like, if they had like a Gladiator Reaper, I was just like, I'm not dropping a single Neophyte until that guy shows his face. And the second he does, I'm hitting him with the sun.
Right.
I don't care. But yeah, outside
6
of that,
grotesques.
Did 6 grotesques do it? We didn't.
They killed like it was Overwatch. They killed like more than half. But
right, because they had like a billion flamers.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was also another thing. If you were able to sequence it with like grenades
Mhm.
or any kind of Overwatch or anything like that, because it could only go up in the shooting phase, like if you had any type of mortals anywhere else to just weaken the
Mhm.
squad, you could get them as well. So,
Joey, any
God, that was
particular
just good.
moments during that time period that you'd like to call out to?
I just did. I met and played Floof, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
That was
right.
I go to
Tacoma.
Tacoma. Yeah.
Yep.
I go to Tacoma. Floof is playing this monstrosity. I'm playing Drukari, just trying to exist in the game. And it was still like it was great.
I'm so glad, one, that we did meet, but also at the same time, now looking back at it and you bringing up that Isaac was playing, I'm so pissed at him. He brought Thousand Suns for Tacoma. That
Wild.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
You've been spending the past 8 months copying me and Ennis, and when it finally matters, I love him, but God, I
And then
hate
to
him,
LVO this year, he brings Shadowmark Talon, of course.
and he loses to me in round 4. Yeah, this. I actually genuinely, I think looking back at it, I want to say, yeah, you were one of my favorite games. I think you and Scary were my favorite games for the weekend.
Hey, that's
Like
fair.
genuinely, it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great time.
And as a side note, Isaac, I miss you. I wish you were still back up here in the Northwest.
I don't leave me alone. Stop messaging me. I don't care
So-
that you're TOing the event I'm in.
So now we get to chapter approved, and what is, in my opinion, the second worst meta of 10th edition, which is Knights, Death Guard, and, well, more GSC.
I blame Jack. I blame Harpster. Because you want to know what sets this meta off? And I'll tell you this right the fuck now. Because this is when Challenger cards happen. Well, they happened a little bit beforehand, right? They're kind of like at the tail end of the last one. But like,
Yeah,
I'm
but this is when
driving
people
home.
realized they could be gamed.
Yes, I'm driving home, and it's when Jack drops his video ranting about Challenger cards and just everything you can do. And I'm driving, and I just go, everyone else is hearing this.
Yeah.
Fuck. This is going out to the world.
Yeah.
And it's just the most degenerate gameplay just starts to happen. Not even
This
on
is
like
the
an army
cursed
meta
meta.
phase. We're talking gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Like, I know Death Guard have been criminally weak for a long time, but that book just drains the life out of everything around it. It is Death Guard incarnate.
It's the exact same problem, just in reverse, right? It's an overcorrection. They were awful, and instead of being the worst army in the game, they made them leaps and bounds the best army in the game.
So hear me out. If Death Shroud had a different ability,
Mhm.
and I know that's such a big thing to say because they're made by that fucking ability, I think they'd be okay. Like, yes, obviously some points increases needed to happen. Why is an Exocrine 90 points and on a 50 mil, right? Like, what are we even doing? You look at them now,
Point corrections fixed it for the most part.
Yeah, they're
kind
fair.
of a little bit too much because, like, what else does the rest of that book do? Like, I get Champions of Contagion is supposed to be the Plague Marine detachment is supposed to be
Yeah.
good.
I
It's
think
good.
it's great.
I kind of don't. You're staging a rhino and then moving 8 out of that rhino, and then I just go, cool, die. Like, they're
Yes.
still Marines.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
can say that
know.
about any Marine detachment.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the
don't
problem is
respect
that-
Marine players. What do you want me to say?
This is coming from GSC brain, right? Like if you come from any other part of 40K, like
Right.
they're really good.
You're talking to the guy who, like, if I go first, you stay in your deployment zone for 3 turns, and I can screen out 6 inches the entire time while doing it because I have so much trash. I get I'm privileged,
A little bit.
but I'm going to pretend I'm not.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Um,
Just, why is it a 6-inch deep? It's not even his number. Just make
No.
it a
It's
7
not.
so I feel less salty.
It's not. Yeah, it's wild.
They would still be
There
making
are some
7s out the
things-
ass.
there's some things
Ugh.
when it comes to cheesy rules that you just
I
kind of have
just-
to embrace some of the lore stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if it's the number of the Legion or whatever, do that, or number of the God, like focus on that, make that more interesting in that sense. Give them something slightly busted, like 7-inch deep strikes or whatever. But let's talk about the other cursed things that happen during this meta. Knights get a buff. Knights lose a little toughness and gain a lot of wounds.
That didn't
Before the
fucking
books
matter.
hit,
Yep.
you got T9 War Dogs running around with 14 wounds, and T11 dudes, big knights, running around with 28 fucking wounds
Like,
with a feel
hear
no
me
pain.
out. My way to deal with knights was very gifted because it's just mass lethals, right? But let's take a world to where I pretend where I don't have that, right? My biggest anti-tank is some mining lasers on some cars, sure, but generally it's through neophytes. The mining laser is strength 10. Can anyone tell me what happens between strength 12 and strength 11 if you are strength 10 going into it?
Not a
Probably
damn
just the
thing.
fact that I have to chew
Nothing.
through more fucking wounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
get
Well,
I
and
get it's an important break point for like strength 6. Sure. But Space Wolves is all strength 5.
True. But now Beast Slayer doesn't care.
Yeah,
and I
sure.
was like, I had the same thought process, right? Because I just go for the rest of or previous to this point, I was like, I don't care about vehicles. I have Haywire, and they were like, oh well, their toughness went down. I'm like, I don't fucking care what their toughness
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Now they just have more wounds, and a Talos doesn't kill them. This is bad.
My ability to deal with them was mass strength 3 shots, wounding on 6s or lethals. I'm
Mhm.
still fishing for those 6s. Like it didn't change at all. Why was Canis Rex as cheap as he was?
That's a
what?
great question.
Hey guys,
in,
I
what,
know that you're doing that
370?
next to the Chaos Knights Codex, but there's a funny difference between Chaos Knights and Canis. Canis hits on 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just decided to make Canis the greatest unit in all of 40k.
Yeah. For most of the edition, it feels like he's
People
never
would
not
just-
been good.
Just throw him into Imperium armies.
Mhm.
It didn't fucking matter.
Yeah. It
He was
crazy.
in Guard, he was in Sisters, he was always an AdMech, but like what?
I think at
don't know,
Tacoma
man.
there were 35 Canis Rexes, something
Yeah.
like that.
I played into a Guard player that just had him in there, and I was like, "Is he really good in Guard?" And he goes, "He's just good. I just brought him." And was
I
like,
played a
"Fuck it,
Sisters
alright."
player who brought Canis, and I ate his lunch, but
Yeah,
that was
but
that.
it's
Yeah.
still like he doesn't need an army rule. He's just good.
Crit
But-
5s, everything sustained.
To bring some
And-
slightly more quantitative reason why this meta really sucked for a lot of people is it killed melee. Melee was gone from the game because Death Guard existed. And that's why people thought World Eaters were just bad for the longest time.
Not just Death Guard. Chaos Knights, the 6 bigs build.
Yeah,
Because they would take the Rampager and it was -1 damage. They had a fight on death or something. I don't even know. I didn't care because I wasn't melee, but I would hear them talk about it and go, how do you, like, as a Blood Angels army, as a World Eaters army, as an EC, what do you even do?
Yeah.
Like,
Crazy.
it just was too much.
During
because
this time,
any melee army's unit that is capable of killing the Rampager is not something they can afford to throw away. And there's no way for them to deal with it without throwing it away.
during this time as well, we get most of the remaining armies released, which is a blessing. I think I missed Space Wolves somewhere along the ways, but I think it was the previous meta. But what we
They were
get,
there. Yeah, they were at Tacoma.
yeah, they were at
Yes,
Tacoma.
they were because Forest, because it was
Yes.
a GW event the night before, was deciding between Stormlance and
and Beast Slayer.
the other one, Beast
He
Slayer.
took Beast Slayer.
Yeah,
Really good list.
because I remember him talking. He was like, "Okay, if I think I'm gonna go into Floof, I'm gonna bring Stormlance, but I don't think I'm gonna go into Floof, so I'm gonna go into Beast Slayer and have fun."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Forrest,
Um,
there's like 500 people here. Why are you teching for me? Go away. I'm not even good."
The other books that hit, we get Black Templar, we get Imperial
book.
Knight book, we get the Grey Knights, we get Chaos Knights, and then of course we end on Drukhari as far as codexes, which is a blessing because we hit the completion of every codex in the game with roughly a year left in the edition, which is exciting.
Votan. Well,
When Votan,
we also got
thank
Votan,
you.
right?
Yeah.
And
So
their range feels complete now. Like,
No,
that, I
they're
feel-
missing one thing:
what?
a Dreadnought.
jump packs. Jump packs. So
Jump
they're missing
pack,
two
yeah.
things: jump packs and a dreadnought.
Yeah, they need a
I
walker.
do
of some
want them
kind.
to have a big robot. The Steeljacks
I want them. I want them
What?
to have a Bioshock. What's his name?
Oh,
The robot.
yeah,
Big Daddy?
the-
Yeah.
like the submarine, old timey submarine style look.
Think of it like this. It's like the Steeljacks or the Tyranid Warriors. I
Yeah.
want a Hive
Mhm.
Tyrant for them, if that makes sense.
Yes. A
Yeah.
medium build, like large thing would be cool. I want it in one of two shapes. I either want a large barrel shaped thing with arms and legs that looks ridiculous, or a very spherical thing with like it sits in the middle while all the stuff shifts around it kind of look would be cool.
Mhm.
Have you watched the fun movie Pacific Rim?
Oh, you mean one of the
the
best
greatest movies ever?
made?
Okay, hear me out. Whatever the Russian one was, but you have it built to where you can either almost not baby carrier like the Grey Knights do, but you can have it be visually piloted by a guy, or just like the head is like the robot one. And like that would be a super cool exchange of there's either a guy in here piloting this or we put one of the AI in.
And just so
That
you're
would be
aware, it's the
sick.
Cherno Alpha.
Sure,
Just
no
so you
alpha
know.
thing. Did you pull that from
Excuse us.
memory? Did you pull that from memory?
Yes.
Okay, you probably fall asleep tonight thinking about the rain effects, don't you?
I'm a big fan of Pacific Rim.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
low
I
key
think
one of the
anyone with
greatest
eyes
films ever made.
is
So, okay. So, super old take here. The other option for a dreadnought is to build it like the inventor in Robots, the movie from 2005.
I have to Google this.
all I remember is that robot mom's fat ass. I'm sorry.
Aunt
I
Fanny?
probably should. Yeah,
Bro, come on. Aunt Fanny?
the big dude, right?
Well,
Yeah,
he kinda
he's
looks
just
like
a ball.
Robotnik, right?
Yeah,
He's just a ball.
Yeah, what if Robotnik? What if we just like dip into Sonic/robots here and we just kind of get a Robotnik looking dude or Dreadnought?
This is what Necron. I'm just clicking through images and in my head going, "This is what Necrons could have been."
Hey, this is a great movie.
It
This
is.
is a great
No,
movie.
I love Robot. Genuinely love it. It will. God, it's so good.
Speaking of Votan, so
It is-
over the
yeah.
tournament during the weekend, we got a really fun look into like you know the guy, the crazy looking little solo model that runs around and does like
Dr. Robotnik,
hazardous attacks up
Yeah.
to damage 3.
the super overcharge. I love
Yeah.
that guy.
You pack 3 of those dude into the carrier detachment, and that guy just picks up squads
Yes.
and then dies a turn later.
Yes, he does. When Votan dropped, they dropped the day of an RTT at a local shop, right? And I decided that I would give myself a little challenge because my brother had a Votan army and he wasn't going that day. So I took about 1,250 points and we had pre-ordered like 3 of everything just so he could have all the stuff, right? The other 750 points I had to build at that RTT.
Oh my
But, like,
God.
Doors open at 9 and I just go in, grab the stuff, and just start building.
Oh my
The
god.
Capricious Carrier is like half built. I got all the characters. There's a unit of steel checks built, and I'm in breakfast detachment, and I'm like, the other 6 are in the land fort, and they're gonna get out when I finish building them. And through my round 1, I'm just building shit between rolling dice. One of the most fun experiences I've ever had. But
This is my actual nightmare.
it was so hilarious, dude. It was. I would recommend it genuinely. It's
I'd rather die.
Yeah, sounds
no,
awful.
it's so good. In the spirit of that essence, have you seen $1 Billion Clown Farm?
No.
He is a YouTube channel of a really cool guy that I met at last Cali Cup, and he's like a metalhead, right? And he just paints fucking beautifully. Some of the best kit bashes and conversions you've ever seen. He's like if Sid from Toy Story just really got into 40K and wasn't an asshole.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And he has got this cool YouTube channel, does all this stuff. And what he'll do, or he recently did a video to where he bought his army at LVO the day before, went up to the hotel room, and then painted it all in the hotel. We're just talking quick airbrushes and all, but it just looked good. Just doing dry brushing with metal over color. And he brought 80 berserkers. He kit bashed like a Sigmar, like centaur dude to be his demon prince.
Dude, that's
it was
awesome.
it's sick. If you could check it out, little shout
I
out
know
to $1 Billion
exactly
Clown
what
Farm.
model you're talking about, and it's a perfect Demon Prince.
It's so sick.
That's great.
I think he played 4 rounds, and then like after his 4th round, he was like, I just want to go gamble. So he had like a really fun game when it's like, I'm calling it there. That's my peak. I'm gonna go lose money now. And then
That's awesome.
I would recommend the video because I think he also did it for last LVO. So I think he's just gonna keep doing this to where he goes through the pre-owned bins the day before and it's like, what am I playing this weekend?
Dude, life of a content creator, right?
It's hilarious.
All right.
But
So
anyways,
of the releases during this time, we get Black Templars, who are spicy good. Not overwhelmingly good. Probably the least healthy of the Marine detachments as of right now, but good.
they just table you.
Yeah.
We
Or get
don't
tabled because
get-
they're just Marines.
But yeah, they can also just be tabled. It's weird. It's a crazy mix of stuff. Again, thank you, Jack Harpster.
they're because Challenger Cup happens at this time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I can take 2, I know I've been derailing
it.
this entire episode. I apologize. Challengers Cup, our
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
Connor, great
So good.
guy, one of the nicest people. Probably, man, listen, okay, I try and be humble, and when I pretend to have an ego, it's just a bit. when he does it, that's not a bit. That is a man who is very tired of the world and wants to take out his anger on everyone. And he was like, it was like 620s. I don't know if he dropped a diff. Like the man just committed war crimes.
He was so
And
nice too.
greatest, nicest guy ever. And then I go and I check in on I'm like checking in on all my friends. And one of the other ones is a girl by the name of Celeste. Really nice.
Yep. Yeah,
really
yeah.
nice person, sweetest person ever. And
She's
she
still on
brought-
guard at Challengers Cup?
No, she's on 4x20 Crusaders in Black
Shit.
Templars and is just disrespecting people. Just it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. She's like
It's
going into Eldar and is like, I'm on the
yeah.
go.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just gonna
move
run
up,
at you and you're gonna lose.
Try. And
that's great.
it's, man, I'm glad she got out some anger that weekend because fuck. I even like picked a brain and I was like, as GSC, what do you think I should do into this? And she goes, lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to her. That was, yeah, fantastic.
The Knights get a codex, which is sad for the Knights because it's not a great codex. It was broken a little bit and they hot fixed it immediately.
The
So that's
loss of
good.
a 6-up Feel No Pain just
Kind of punches them
Good.
like in a
Fuck
hard
'em.
spot. Like they're still strong, they're still good. Like they're in a good place, okay place now is what I'll say.
but
Because they
now
still have
don't live on
access to
one.
reroll one hit, reroll one wound. So long
Now
as
they
that, you're
just
fine.
don't scam you and live on one. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, without the 6-up Feel No Pain, like they're a fine army, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Then of course Grey Knights. Grey Knights are interesting in that some units got improved. So most of them stayed fairly similar. They yeeted Caldor into the warp.
So random.
Big
I don't-
sad, actually.
I
Hate it.
didn't like that.
He's a resin kit. It wasn't very good.
Okay,
That
that's
doesn't
fair.
matter. They give him a new kit.
That's what they should have done.
No. They had to give the Grandmaster Dread Knight a mace.
Oh, yeah.
That
And
just,
yeah, they had to give the Dread Knight an extra sprue.
Yeah.
I
Here's
really
a
would have
Melta.
loved if they just did like a Lego thing of just like, here's some like, plastic chains that are just loose and you can just kind of spin your model around.
Would love that.
Uh,
Their codex kind of flops. We have one okay detachment, but people are still playing Grotmas for good reason. And then Chaos Knight book drops, which is fine,
Rough.
but really they're propped up by a single data sheet.
the fucking despoiler.
The spoiler just is too good. Good
Which
enough
is
to
so-
the point where they don't have to fix the army.
It's so funny because for the longest time I loved the despoiler because the thought of like triple despoiler with Gatling cannon I always thought was bad. But I was like, it's so funny. You just shoot so much. How is this bad? And then the book drops and everyone's like, triple despoiler with Gatling cannon. Ben Urich is just like, you're right, Floof. This is good. And I'm just great. Now I have to hate one of my favorite units. I loved you when you were bad. I don't love you when you're good. God damn it.
Now they're well costed and just kind of shoot the world apart. So Chaos Knights, interesting, not a terrible list. I think so your guy on your team that was running the 14 War Dogs,
Yeah.
that is honestly, I think that's a sleeper build. I think it's really good. Like,
Yeah, and it like plays a role to where it's still a knight stat check, but you're not able to do the MSU bullshit because everything has indirect, of course. And then it allows Chaos Knight players to do something that they've been wanting to do all edition, which is just play War Dogs. They haven't been able to do it all edition, and I'm so glad that they can just spam War Dogs.
that's what it was for until the codex dropped.
I don't know what you're talking about. And they hadn't played it in years, editions even, and now they're able to just
Maybe
put
ever.
now they're just able to put 14 War Dogs on the board
Yeah.
and just walk at you. They're being brave and not taking any of the bigs that they didn't buy because they got into Chaos Knights by just buying 14 War Dogs for the index, and
Yep.
they're so
And
brave.
GW very kindly gave them an army box that comes with 7.
That's
But
so
I've-
nice of them.
I love. I just want to say, like, one of my fucking guilty pleasures in this hobby is just seeing the Knights army bundles. It's just the stupidest combinations all the time because they can't do too much. Because then you just buy an army in a box, but then
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, your combat patrol's just the fucking War Dog box. Go nuts.
Yeah, we just
So
put
whack.
combat patrol on it this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for you, genuinely, you can buy 2 of the army boxes for Chaos Knights, and there's
And
your
you're done.
fucking army. That's so funny. God,
And then the final codex to hit is Drukari. And
It looks
Drukari
cool.
looks pretty good.
It looks
Hey,
really
it's
cool.
good.
and it's good.
It's
we
good.
know it's good. So
And all of the units that Scary used to beat me are out of the game.
let's go.
So
But now he has
fuck
more
you,
stuff
Scary.
and
kidding,
cooler
I'm
rules
kidding.
to beat you with. So now that ends the worst meta into
Mhm.
what now is what Joey and I consider to be one of the better metas of the edition.
Yeah, sure.
Floof vehemently disagrees because he's
Like,
been there.
why crit 5s, 2 CP? Sure, fine, do it. Then, like, change the stratagem towards go up at end of turn. Guess we can come down turn 1, but who gives a shit? Only bad people would do that if you have all that stuff before. I'm doing it every turn, by the way. But, like, taking away the rerolls is what? Just +1 to hit. We have, like, 3 detachments that give +1 to hit. We hit on 3s in melee. Like, we don't need the plus. What? Why was it 3 things? And then bikes go up 10 points. And Ridge Runners, the whole thing that makes the army run, the thing that we need to take, you want to hit to another 10 points to just punish us for the thing you're forcing us to take. I'm not salty.
How many points are Ridge Runners now?
They're 95. I want them back down to 75. It's annoying.
I mean, I would like for scouts to be 55 too, but
95.
What did trucks start out this edition as? Like
50,
40?
I think.
50?
50. It was 50.
Isn't it wild to say that and then realize that wasn't even like in the top 10 of things that were busted?
Easy.
Orc lists were like 6 trucks in a dream, and like
Yeah.
it would still
Yeah.
lose.
Did
And
you
still
know?
lose.
Did you know scouts started with lone op?
What?
Yeah.
You're fucking me. You're fucking with me.
They also have scout or they have infiltrate and scout.
Infiltrate, scout,
Well,
lone
yeah, I
op,
know that.
50 points or something.
But it
50,
was
55 points.
it was infiltrate, scout, lone op, and then
When did they take away Lone Op?
It happened fairly quickly. I mean, once the codex dropped,
Okay.
it was crazy.
I
Anyway, let's get back into what the meta is now. So this is the
Yeah.
first time all edition that we don't have an active catch-up mechanic in competitive play, as
Thank
challenger
God.
cards have been removed.
Thank God. Like I can just beat people.
Yeah,
I
you can just be a better player and win games. Congratulations.
crazy.
can't-
Now if
It's
they
okay to
if they
win.
could just remove battle ready paint, it'll be perfect.
No,
Yeah, I think everyone just like the fact that we have to say yeah we start at 10 is just what am I doing
It's
here?
dumb. It's dumb.
Like hear me out. This is going to sound really weird, okay? But I was able to mathematically beat my last opponent at the past major, okay? I'm playing into Kalyon. We're on hidden supplies. I have given him 0 primary every turn. He is going to score 15 turn 5. I know this, but like gargoyles exist and are assholes, and then just GSC being assholes. I'm never going to let him score before that. He has scored every secondary possible. He's going to max out. Okay. Mathematically, that means he cannot get above 65. 40 for secondary, 10 for paint, 15 for the 1 term of primary I'm allowing him to have. I get my score to 68. At the start of the turn, in any other edition, he would have a comeback mechanic that would allow him to just do one funny thing. Hey, your army's tabled. This little funny guy is going to walk over here and say, praise the greater good, and then I get 20 points and win. Now I can just say, cool, all I need to do is get to 66. I had control of that game from the get-go. And while other people might go, well, that's dumb. No, I outplayed the guy. I knew
Right.
exactly the win path I needed to get. I knew what needed to happen. And there was definitely failure points. If I let him have any primary along the line, it doesn't work, right? But we get to the start of round 5. He can now only get 65. There is no way for him to get a challenger card, anything like that. The game is locked. Good. I think that's good. I think if there's a 20% chance to where a random card draw just tells me to go fuck myself, that's just not healthy.
Yep. It's the exact same thing as people like it's a bit when people do it, right? But it like if you watch like Dimension 20 or Critical Role or anything like that, like people that are doing D&D and stuff. And like I said, it's a bit. But if they're like, hey, if I roll a natural 20 right now, can I do this thing?
Yes.
It's exactly that.
I hate it.
It's like to bring up the fighting game thing we were talking about before, like good ass Tekken or like anything like that. Just imagine you're playing a fighting game and like 1 in 10 times, if you lose, the game just like gives you a continue. Just says, hey, do you want to just hop in with like 20% HP and just go? What the fuck are we doing? Sometimes you just lose a game and that's okay. Like we're playing a game.
Right.
I don't.
Maybe your catch-up mechanic should just be getting better.
Yeah, get good
And
is
it
the catch-up
sounds
mechanic.
it sounds like an asshole thing, but legitimately, just get better.
And I wanna even stage this from like maybe a different perspective, because I don't see myself as this amazing great player, but I understand I am top 50 in ITC and ELO has me even higher. I'll say this from the standpoint of I'm probably going to lose to John Lennon the first 5 games I ever play against him, because he's just going to out fucking play me. And if there's a catch-up mechanic that in one of those games I just win because of bullshit, I shouldn't have won because he beat me. And I need to get better. I want to get better because I want to be one of the best players in the world. So I can't have my progress stopped by winning a game I shouldn't have because of a bullshit mechanic. It is good. It is gone because it will push you to get better and just not rely on this mechanic, not rely on bringing in the Silent King turn 5 onto your opponent's home point, not rely on having to go for gambits, not rely on challenger cards,
What
rely on getting
actually-
fucking better.
Actually happen. It was meant to be a catch-up mechanic. I mean, yes, 1 in 10 times it just had people winning games that they shouldn't be winning, but the other section that's 1 or so in 10 is the players that are already great are just abusing it
Even more.
to win in a different way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was an abusable system, and now it's gone. And now we just get to play Warhammer, and it's proving out because as of right now, the landscape is vast, it is varied, and regardless of what tournament you go to right now, you're going to get Marines of every flavor. You're going to see Drukhari, you're going to see Eldari, and there's only like one faction who feels a little busted right now. Well, 2, I guess. You have Black Templars feel a little busted because they'll table you, but also AdMac. Just because they're a little inexpensive right now. They just need to be nerfed in the points just a little.
They're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
Just a little point nerf.
Come on. You and I
Okay,
both
just
are
let me
writing
get through
lists in that
December.
fucking app, and you know damn
Just let me
well-
get through December. I
you
have
know
2
damn well we
GTs.
don't need that many Sakarans.
I have 2 GTs. Let me get through December and then we can nerf them, okay?
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, it's right now things feel healthy, and like I can't tell you how exciting it is to be at this point in the edition where for the next 8 months we have just landscape to play, like all the different detachments available, all the different armies, and they're in their final forms right now. And that's going to make for good 40k until
On
11th
the
edition.
Grotmus 2 Electric Boogaloo notwithstanding, by the way.
Are
'cause
we
that
going to
can-
get another one? Do you know?
That would be
Fuck if I
Grotmus
know.
3.
We've had 3?
We've had 2. So are we going to get another one?
I hope so.
I want 30 Days of Grotmus yet again.
I would
think
like
it would
it,
be
yeah.
hilarious.
Well, okay, so I've talked about this to a couple of my friends of that. Obviously, we're getting previews at Worlds, right?
Yeah.
So that's this weekend. Everybody's excited. Everybody wants to know what these previews are. The assumption is that it's 11th edition. What if it's just Grotmus?
Love it.
There was like stuff in the back of like whatever image they posted. It looked like a Death Guard box. Well, no, they just got a bunch of stuff, right? Did they only get a character?
Death Guard?
Did they get the?
They only got a character.
Okay.
They got, Buster Sword guy. That's all they got.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I don't like Death. Oh
Which-
yeah. By the way, I should have mentioned when I was yelling about them before. Necrons is number 2. Death Guard's number 1. It's my least favorite. And that I love the army. I think it's cool. It just happens that in our local area, there's 2
So many.
shitters. No, two of our bad apples, one of which is just a known fucking cheater, are just on Death Guard. And
Good.
it's just, we have like one nice Death Guard player, and everyone, God, sorry, not to bring like,
They all carry such a chip because they've been so bad for so long.
yeah,
It's let me be good. Like, well,
but the army's
yes,
just
but
so
not
beautiful.
too good.
Anyway. All right, guys.
I
So do we
think-
have anything that we want to bring up end of edition wise at this stage?
I think Floof lost his soul here for a second. It'll come back.
The little ghost coming out.
What's funny is my thought left me. I don't fucking know what I was gonna
Alright.
say, which is probably good. I've been talking nonstop for 2 hours now.
It's fine.
Okay. All right.
I think
Any last thoughts to close up where we are now? Thoughts about Worlds? Anything of the sort coming up?
I think right now is going to be the best time to grind games in 40k.
Yeah.
I believe so as well.
I was getting that out with the no catch-up mechanic statement earlier. I think right now you are only going to win a game if you deserved to win that game, dice obviously notwithstanding. You can have a game to where you roll all 6s, you can have a game to where your opponent rolls all 1s. No catch-up mechanic is going to force you to find your win path. And hopefully go for it.
No, you go. You finish your thought.
I was going to say, hope more people get the skill set to find the win versus just stumble into it and only going, well, here's my turn. So I'm just going to do this turn and only this turn, instead of going, what does my 3 look like? What does my 4 look like? What does my 5 look like? Right? Or what does the last turn look like? Let's walk it back and find the steps for me to get there so that I can win. Right? And now you don't have to go, I'll just rely on a gambit. I'll rely on a card. Oh, I'm Space Wolves and I got fully screened out. Well, I got this funny little card that says I can move through models and terrain features.
Yeah.
Die. It's right now, is there are games going to be decided more purely on skill expression, and that is exactly when you want to practice. So go play some Warhammer.
Can't agree more. Joey, any final thoughts on closing here?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same, right? If we said just get better, this is the time. If you want to get better, this is the time, because that's all you can do is do your skill. But I do think if you're new and you don't know what your style of play is, this is the time to find it, because you can play anything. Figure out what you like, figure out how you play the game naturally and what you are good at while you can.
Yeah.
And then that can adapt into how metas shape when we move on.
And in the same vein of thought, if you are not new, go try something new, because right now you can play whatever the hell you want and probably post a good result if you know how to play the game.
One of the 5.0 lists at Manopacalypse was Assimilation Swarm. One of the worst, not worst, but just one of the okayest detachments Tyranids has access to. The thing is when everyone has their tools, things stay in place more. But that also then lets you know what you need to move around, and so you can start making the weird shit work. A good GSC player over on the east side that I know very well by the name of Tucker just went 5-0 at a teams event with Brood Brothers.
That's cool.
Something that if you ask any other GSC player, it's just our worst attachment. I've been one of the very few people, none. It's just like I can find this in 2 seconds. It's such a wild list. It's only 1 squad of neophytes, 2 of the laser cars, some jackals, a bunch of rough riders, and then 3 squads of Kassakin, a bunch of Krieg combat engineers in Toroxes.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And he just plays MSU guard GSC, and he runs up and he goes, here's all these mortal wounds, chucklefuck, and blows you off the point and then takes all your primary, and he's bringing it to Worlds.
Wow.
You're gonna see this at Worlds and quite possibly beat some of the best players in the world, because he's been practicing it. So if
there's some crazy lists at World.
There's some crazy lists. Now is the time to mess around and find the weird thing, because not only should you work on your fundamentals and play as much 40k as you can to get better, because this edition is going to force you to, but when you feel comfortable, do the weird thing, because you might find a play pattern or you might find something new. I was fucking around and I stumbled into Swarm Host. I'm not saying that's going to happen for anyone listening or anything, but there is a non-0% chance that someone makes something weird work,
Yeah. All it takes is giving it a shot. And as we've said, right now is the time. So
go
with that,
5-0 an event with something weird.
Yeah. So with that, thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you, Floof, for being here. When you're ready to come back, we'll always have you back.
Always, man.
And we welcome, for everyone else, we welcome your comments, your questions, your topic requests, and even your complaints. Tell other people about us, repost us on the socials, like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time at the Yop.
See you around.
Bye.